Welcome to Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce Let's Talk Business podcast. My name is Tabitha Barron, and I got Hugh Gardner here.
Yes.
I'm going to work on it. Look, you come to hang out with me today?
Man, I came out here, to hang out a little bit on this good Friday morning. Yeah. You doing good today?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
so, I know today we're going to be talking about preparing to succeed. That's going to be our topic, so we have a lot of things going on with that. But first, we're going to go ahead and thank our sponsors. Southwest Airlines is a proud air travel sponsor of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. And we also like to thank Primacor Business Solutions. Okay, so first, let me tell you, before we get started, so during all of this COVID nightmare, okay, I have been back and forth with different problems, different sinus issues, or health issues, lung issues, and things like that, and not the COVID. It's actually just been the fact that I have a really bad reaction or an allergen that has attacked my body in a way that causes me to cough a lot. So it's in my lungs, in my throat, and in my sinuses.
So it looked like you got something that's going on.
So it looked like patient zero. So it sounds like patient zero, but it's not actually. And so it's taken many months to finally get to the place where they figure out exactly what to do to solve the problem. And so I will be going in to get that taken care of in a couple weeks. So then hopefully my goals together are to go ahead and get me back to a healthier place so I can breathe and stop all this coughing, because that is like scaring. It's scaring the young people.
Yeah, younger and old, scaring everybody.
Scaring everybody. Like everybody's like, oh my gosh, you got the Rona. No, I don't.
That's the first thing.
First thing.
Any cough. With the Rona.
Right. Yeah. But a lot of people have shown some type of concern and things for me. So I just wanted to make sure that I put it out there that says that I'm not sick. I haven't been sick with any of the virus. But it was something I have been dealing with since late last year, and it's just consistently been present.
Okay.
So just so we're clear. All right, so we're going to get started. So we're going to talk about preparing to succeed. So what does that sound like? What does that mean to a lot of the business owners or a lot of the people, as we roll out the reopening? So when I say prepare to succeed, what does that look like to you? What is that something?
Preparing to succeed, just to get back to what they say, the new normal. That's the new phrase. Getting back to life again. What it seems like, just preparing to restart and get going again.
Right. So on Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, the website actually has information about how the governor has decided to reopen the city in stages. Right, so we can go and find his report on there and take a look at what that looks like to each individual person, and how that will impact them as we continue to reopen. Because I do notice there's a lot more cars on the road now.
There's a bit more traffic out there now. Yeah,
and I got stuck in traffic for real.
Yeah, it's been happening.
And so when I came out and I was like, okay, cool, we can go and do this, and I was like, ooh. I came to a screeching halt, and I was like, okay, I like the other way better, but not so much.
I don't miss it, but it's gonna come back too. Yeah.
Right. So everything's starting to reopen, and so we want to make sure that we understand that the chamber has been very instrumental in making sure that we are kept abreast with all of the opportunities or the different things that are happening. So it's really important to know that procurement opportunities are still out there, and that the chamber is continuing to send emails and things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know sometimes it's like, okay, we're getting a ton of emails, but imagine getting no emails.
Yeah.
And then you say, well, wait a second, how come I didn't learn about that opportunity? Right?
Yeah, because you didn't. As long
nobody
as
sent it to you.
Yeah. If the information is sent to you, then you have an opportunity. It's on you to say, let me open this email and read it and see if it's beneficial for me. So
right.
At least they're being sent. So yeah, that's good stuff.
So as we prepare to open our businesses, let's be clear. Most of the businesses have still been in operation. Yeah. It just hasn't had foot traffic to some brick and mortars or to some business buildings, right? So that's what we need to look at. So, but as the rollout or the ramp up of the business looks businesses are going and more of the business opportunities that are coming up, what are we doing to prepare for that personally, from a business standpoint, and then who is our network on the people who are supporting our ramping back up into doing full business. So I know that the chamber put together with some of the strategic partners, because we have a strategic partnership with NRG Park now.
Yes.
And in preparing to do business with them, we actually did. Why do we need a capability statement?
Why do we need? We did a what was it, this past Wednesday?
Yes.
Yeah, this past Wednesday I hosted a Why Does Your Business Need a Capability Statement, and it was just a quick webinar, teleconference for our members, and it just states what the benefit is, and actually it'll definitely assist with the new strategic partnership that we have with NRG, with just getting opportunities out there for our members. So. The plan to do that once a month.
Once a month on the fourth Wednesday of every month.
Wednesday, last Wednesday of every month. We'll be hosting it. So yeah, I mean, anything to help your business restart. Get preparation after this COVID-19 situation. Definitely think that capability statement webinar would definitely assist with these opportunities that are available for our members. So
this is true. So, but what is the really I like there was a couple of things that you said during the webinar that said talked about the fact that a lot of people feel like they may not need that capability statement. But what are the important reasons why we would want to put something like that together?
Oh yeah, well, specifically for our members, we're gonna, when we receive your capability statement, we're gonna match you with one of our strategic partners if there's a good match with your business and what the services and products that they're looking for. So I want to say that's the main purpose as to why you would want to have a capability statement, and also if you don't have one, you can tune into the webinar and then just tune into these opportunities that are out there for our members. So
that's cool. I like the fact that you made the example that it's like a resume for your business.
Yes. So capability statement is essentially a resume for your business. So it just shows the value that your business brings to the table, right? So if you're in corporate America looking for a position and you're applying for a job, then obviously you want to put your experience in your resume that'll help you get that position, right? So capability statement essentially does that for your business when trying to increase the business that you're getting. So
right. So what do you say to people that say, hey, but I have a business card and I think that should be enough?
Man, so if you were on the webinar, you would have known that a capability statement is more than it's not a business card. It's actually more than a business card. And we actually had some of our, strategic partners on the webinar, and they just iterated the fact that it's a talking point. It's more than just your name and contact information. It's what does your business actually do? What is your experience? What is your expertise? What are your differentiators? Like what's special about your business? You don't have that information on a business card, right? So just like you don't have you put that on your resume, so you put that in your capability statement.
Right.
So
I mean that's good because I would encourage anybody to go ahead through that class.
Yeah.
Because I was told to do that a while ago.
Yeah, because you were like, I'm here to learn. You were like, I need to learn about this too. So you learned some stuff in the brief webinar.
Yeah.
So what were some of the things that you learned just from real quick?
Yeah, because I was like, because I knew I was supposed to do it right, and I was like, okay, I got it, and I'm looking for it, and I finally came across it, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready, and I'm watching and I'm listening, and I'm like, that's nothing what's on mine. Because mine looked bare. Mine looked like a skeleton. It looked bad. I was like, I wouldn't send this out to anyone.
Man, oh yeah.
And that's what the thing was, is that I learned that they're gonna look at that first and determine whether or not they are able to work with me. They're gonna look at that and say, it's not just a NAICS code that they're gonna say, okay, I'm looking for the specific NAICS code. They're gonna be looking for a few other things. And I don't think it's experience more so, but how would you fit?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Experience is one part of it, obviously, right? So just like if you're looking for a new job, you know, you might not have all the experience for that position,
right.
but you might have some education that goes with it. Just your personality, number one. You know, I mean, there's a whole lot of things that go in, you know, opportunities that you would see.
And so when I did it, I was like, when we were going through it, I was like, okay. And when I walked away, I was like, oh, I can do this now.
Yeah.
Before, I was struggling, and I would go to different people, and I'm like, oh, you'll help me with the capability statement, and I would show up, and I'm like, okay, I'm waiting, and then I was like, and then no one would do anything, and I was like, all right, well, okay, let me move on to something else, and I would do the search. I would do the search online for it and everything, but something didn't make sense to me until I went through the webinar with you, because until it made sense, I couldn't translate it into a document that I felt comfortable sending out to anybody.
Yeah.
But after sitting through your capability statement class, and then follow up was when we did the one for doing business with NRG.
Yeah, the next day. Yeah.
So back to back, and I was like, okay, I get it. Now I know what's happening, and I can actually put it together in a way that would be beneficial. But the thing I love about the chamber is the fact that even as you guys are helping me get to the next place, you are actually saying, okay, but wait a second, not like this, and so it's not hand holding, but it is some type of guidance.
Yeah, exactly.
That is provided by the chamber that actually allows me to be able to see that I can move forward, or this is really good thing.
Yeah, some people, I feel like, you know, some people might think that there is going to be a hand holding, you know, for business owners in the chamber, and that's, in my opinion, we're not doing you a good service if we're going to spoon feed you along the way to help you operate your business. You know,
that's correct.
We're going to provide you with the tools, though. You know, and that's one of the reasons why we did the webinar. Because when I first heard about a capability statement, I was like, "What is this?" You know, I mean,
another piece of paper.
Yeah, I don't want to do this. But when you start connecting the dots, and then you hear from the people who want to receive, you know, this information, and they're telling you, yeah, this is definitely could be a talking point. So, for example, if you would have had your capability statement and handed it, you said it was like a skeleton or whatnot.
Yeah, it didn't look good.
You know, and say you're handing it to somebody, a state agency or whatnot, one of the individuals who's on the webinar, but they see your personality and they just see the energy that you bring, you know, and you're having a conversation, and they might look at your capability statement and say, well, this is a skeleton, like she said, but I like just talking to her. She knows her business, but even though it doesn't reflect that in a capability statement, I still might want to do business with you just because we're face to face, and that's what we learned on the webinar as well. You know,
right.
You have to get in front of these people, you know, the potential opportunities, faces in front of these people, and market yourself, and that's what we talked about in the webinar too. And the chamber is not going to spoon feed you or hold your hand on how to market, but we are going to provide the tools and
help you along.
And you know, once again, once our members get their capability statement written and provided to us, then we can absolutely, you know, make sure we're getting it in the right people's hands for you, and make sure there's a good match and a good fit, you know, with doing business. And then from there, it's, you know, it's up to you as a business owner,
right,
to make sure your business is being successful. So, but yeah, your tools are always helpful, you know.
Right,
yeah,
I know. So since I've been here in the chamber, though, it's been extremely helpful to me, because every time I learn. Every time I learn so much from everybody, because between the mentorship and then the classes, or just the understanding, being able to have conversations with different members or just different people to say, okay, I like it better this way, or this is the way we know it works, and then we can kind of roll out. So this is all in preparation to scale any business. So before COVID, we were still trying to scale our businesses, right?
Yeah.
After COVID, well, now we have to resuscitate.
We
have to resuscitate, and then rebuild and scale. And so I think it's a really good opportunity for sure for to get with a group of people who are willing to work with you to kind of scale your business. And so today we got our new T-shirts on.
You know,
for the radio show that we're gonna.
New prep
that's what I'm saying. So inside all of this, so now we're preparing to succeed, and so the chamber is actually showing a true example of what it means to prepare to succeed, right? And they're definitely making a way for anyone else to want to do the same thing. So so today is the last day for the introductory rates. If anybody wants to do it, you gotta hurry up, because today midnight the prices will change. But the radio show gives everyone an opportunity to just come on or have a commercial or a business showcase where we can sit and talk about your business for about 10 minutes in the morning.
For our members,
for a member. Actually, I think so, and we can work it out. We sit there and have a conversation about your business and things, and now everybody gets to learn about your business. They'll get to visit your website. They get to call you. They'll send you emails. It just depends, because you never know what people are looking for, especially right now. So we prepared for this radio show. We've been working on it and everything like that. And so who would have thought that now is the perfect time for all of this to kind of roll out?
The timing, sometimes, timing is everything, and today is the first day that at least the state of Texas is starting to open up, officially. So, was it this Monday? The first radio show?
Monday. I know. So come on now, we got it. So 7 a.m. in the morning.
7 a.m.
So we'll be talking about business. We have a lot of you have different things that we can do. Showcase. We'll have everybody have different people can have their commercials and things like that. But we'll be discussing the things that are important to business owners, and large and small. Because all businesses are they've all been impacted by all of this. Good or bad, they've all been impacted. So definitely an opportunity to advertise, get more listeners, get people to know who you are, and this is a good time to be able to do that. So we're going to be Let's Talk Business Radio.
Let's talk some business.
I like that. Let's talk some business. So for you, because you have business as well, so what are you doing to prepare for the reopening, or as we continue through 2020?
Man, so you asked me when you did the webinar. She asked me, "Could you have an example of your capability statements?" They didn't see me, but I was scratching my head. I actually ain't put one together. I've been busy, trying to make sure I'm getting there's loan assistance, disaster assistance, through this COVID. So I know I've been focusing on that and some other, business opportunities. But I definitely need to get my capability statement put together. Obviously helping with the chamber to make sure our members, just getting ready for the restart, doing that as well. So I can't even hardly think half the stuff I be doing half the time.
I know, you got this long to-do list.
You got a long one too. I be talking to other people, and it's like it never ends, the to-do list. So, but that's part of and from my opinion, that's part of being a business owner. There's always, you're wearing a bunch of different hats, and as long as you're just moving forward, really, that's pretty much all that matters.
Okay, so keep in mind though, that you can advertise on our radio show.
Definitely. I need to sign up for that too today.
My God, I know. So we're gonna
do it. I'm gonna do it today.
We're gonna move that up in your to-do list.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
So you can go ahead and
2 or 3 or something for the day.
You got to get that done.
Yeah.
But so you're gonna do your capability statement. So for me, I have to finish mine. But I've been working on an app that's going to be complementary to the.
That's a lot of work. It sounds like.
Oh man, but I'm just about finished with the app.
For real? Oh. Okay.
Yeah, so that's almost done.
Good.
It was supposed to roll out before, it was set to roll out in March, but
then COVID happened.
But COVID happened, and you talk about a kick in the gut. So, not a big deal. We just went in and made a couple other changes because it let us know that now is a good time to pivot whatever thought process we might have had.
Yeah, it allowed you to reevaluate a little bit. You know, it had a little more time on you.
And then clean it up and make it so we can come out with a bang.
Do it good, do it right.
Because for me, my business is going to be, and my business is going to I was in education. I'm in education.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I work with the schools and things. So that means for me, I won't be able to do anything until come fall.
Oh, yeah.
So when it comes time for schools to come back, and I know that there are some groups that are discussing whether or not that will even bring the students back in the fall. And that,
yes.
But so for me, when that if that becomes an issue, if that becomes conversation, that will definitely impact me greatly there.
Yeah.
But right now it's okay. I'm just continuing to create, to create and clean up all of the stuff that I need to, and get prepared for the upcoming school year. So regardless of what happens, I'll still be prepared in one way or another. So that's a part of that, and I think the chamber is actually helping me to do that as well.
Yeah.
And so because of that, so between the classes that the certification classes that are offered, and the different people that we're meeting, and then there's going to be an increase. The calendar's out.
Oh yeah, man, yeah.
The calendar's out.
We put together we're trying to put together at least a monthly calendar that's pretty much going to be set. I mean, obviously, things change or whatnot, but we're trying to do Wednesday workshops for the most part. So every Wednesday there's going to be some sort of workshop that the chamber is putting on. So once again, the capability statement is going to be the last Wednesday of the month. Networking events, lunch and learns here in Region 1. I know Region 3, I get confused. So out in Beaumont, they have the networking.
3 regions, 9 counties.
Yeah. Region 3 is Beaumont out there.
Oh, don't get me to.
Yes, I gotta do better.
They can't do it.
They do every second Thursday is a networking event. So I've been getting out there and going out there to those networking events. So we're trying to get some things set up for Region 3 and Region 1. We're gonna do learning lunches in Region 1. So yeah, the calendar should be getting on the website here pretty soon for our members. So
I think we talked about it. And I think she mentioned that it's about 3. I guess they did it for the 3 months. But regardless, May calendar is up, should be coming out. People need to look at that because it's more than just 1 or 2 workshops. And because there's so many opportunities. Okay, so in order to prepare for my scale or my re-entry into the world, so to speak, into the business world. So I've had to do a few things that are slightly different, but it's my space, right? But what I think we need to talk about what is necessary to prepare. First of all, I think that we have to get to the place where we partner with someone or talk to someone and do more collaborations.
Yeah. I mean, and our strategic partners are here definitely to assist with that. And I think the networking events definitely help with that. Just for me, talking to any business owner, regardless of what they're doing, just bouncing ideas off each other, getting their background, that's always, a good situation.
Yeah, but the value, so value proposition, your elevator pitch has to be really clean. So I know that we all struggle with some of those things, but it comes down to the value prop. What makes you different from another company? What makes you different from your competitors? And I don't see them as, me personally, I don't necessarily see them as my competitors. I think competition is healthy when it's used for the right reasons, right?
Oh yeah, it's necessary, too. Yeah.
Right, because it helps you be better. Because if there's no one trying to do what you're doing, then you don't have no way to sharpen your iron, right?
Yeah.
So I see that as being good, but at the same time, you got to get prepared enough to know what your value is in the situation and understand how to communicate that to someone.
Yeah.
In a way where they get it, where it's good. So as we go through this, I see a lot more companies who have done more hand sanitizer, face mask, and different things like that, right? And those are homegrown businesses out of a stressful situation. So value prop, understanding who your target market is and what you're trying to accomplish, and building goals around that. But the best way to do that is to make sure that you're in the right circle that's able to provide you enough information that's going to be able to continue to help you grow and fine-tune your message in a way where it will be very impactful.
Yeah, that's true. Has
the chamber been successful in helping you with that?
Man, yeah, absolutely. I mean, for me, just the webinars. Not the webinars, the workshops. I attended pretty much all of them in about a 4-month time span.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then just like with the capability statement webinar, you hear things, and you're kind of like, well, how do I don't know how to actually go about doing that. I hear about how there's contracts available and things of that nature, but I didn't know how to, go out and look for one until I took the navigating the business process workshop. And then it's like, oh, this is what I've been hearing about, just kind of in the background. And as a business owner, if I think you should always be trying to get a contract, or a small one, a large one, whichever one you feel comfortable with. But you got to know how to get them too, and when you hear about something but you don't know how it actually works, once the dots get connected, that'll definitely help you out. So then I just use my background, with the information that I received about how to get a contract, and I've just been just working towards that,
That's
working
cool.
towards it, and you got to keep going.
keep going. So resources. So as this continues to move forward, as we continue to, because this is not going to go away right away. It's going to be here with us for a little while. Resources are very important. So I know that for the chamber, it gives resources or avenues to for capital, for financial support.
Yeah.
They have, so anything that a business will need is available here at the chamber, in a way where, first of all, you get educated, and then you get supported.
I think financially, I think for me, I made the mistake of using my personal funds to start my business. I didn't know that the best thing you should do is get a loan from a financial partner. I guess that's the
Really?
Yeah. That's so in the SBA webinars, for the disaster loans, with the before the CARES Act actually came out, when it was it's getting prepared, the SBA representatives were saying they're gonna come out with some disaster loan assistance, but always go to your financial partner and ask them for assistance, because they're gonna have it before Congress actually signs this CARES Act, right? So and I learned that from the courses I took up at the chamber. And then you hear that on, just from different business owners and things of that nature. I mean, at some point, every business is going to need, if you're being successful, you're going to need to grow, and you'll see how you can grow. And at some point, I can only grow if I get another loan, a business loan, things of that nature. If you have 15, 10 people, on your staff, and you can see how you can get, you need 100,
right,
and you're putting out a good product or service, then you should be able to just go talk to your bank and say, hey, this is the situation I'm in. I have a business checking account there, and you talk to them, right? So lawyer, accountant, things of that nature. I mean, if when you're doing business, you need to be able to have that relationship with these people. And so just from sitting in on some webinars at the beginning of this COVID situation and hearing SBA representatives say, make sure you still go talk to your relationship that you have with your banker and with your your financial partner. That helps. So it eases the stress, so to speak, right? I mean, you have to be comfortable with hey, I need some assistance financially. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I think in our culture, with our culture, it's kind of why would I want to do that? And I had that same mindset too. Like, why would I want to go borrow some money from somebody? I ain't trying to go into debt or whatever. But it's for your business. And
I had a CFO friend who said to me, "Cash is king, Tabitha. Cash is king." And I was like, okay. But I have cash in the bank, and he's like, no, you hold your money in the bank and go borrow against it, and then because you want to keep money, because they're looking at your account, and then looking at what you're asking to borrow.
Yeah.
But I bootstrapped, and then I got investors for like some investments and things like that, so that's fine. I didn't necessarily go through an institution or anything like that, and I don't, and it's not the mindset for me that says that I don't want to go into debt or anything like that. I think it was more, I just, and I'm a really good example of, I think that if I create it and it's really, really good, that other people will purchase it, and it's like a no-brainer type of a thing. But there is something called an unconscious buy, and there's something called a very conscious buy, right? And so the unconscious buy is those things that you will constantly write a check for, hands down, no matter what. Your lights, your water, your mortgage, all the things like that. But then there are other things that are fun for you, and so that you will purchase no problem. But things that will make you think or make you take responsibility for things, that's the things where people stop and pause and say, is this something I really want? Is this something I really need? And then they challenge it because everybody feels like it's the best way, it's just the way I'm doing it right now. So I did everything, or I did most things as I was building with the understanding that it is a no-brainer, they're going to want to purchase, or it's a no-brainer, it's safety is for everyone, they will want to be safe. And it turns out that may not be the mindset of the person that I'm wanting to partner and work with. So although now I look at it and say the possibility or the understanding of going for financial resources elsewhere other than, me bootstrapping everything is probably more beneficial, because it has there's a level of longevity that exists with that financial resource.
No, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't that I didn't want to go into debt, or was I going to be able to pay it back or anything like that. It was just I felt like the market would be the one that would pay for the progression of the model, and it doesn't always work that way. So for me, I had to go back and look at that and make a decision on what I wanted to do. So I made some changes, and one of them was to join a chamber of people who were of like mind, people who were willing to let me know where I was going wrong, and wrong doesn't mean that I'm failing, or that I'm failing, or I've done everything the wrong way. I'm just saying is that there was a different way to do it that was less harmful to me in the long run.
Yeah, that's one reason why I'm doing the channel. I was like, man, I think I'm doing it, what I think I should be doing, but then, I guess it could be just a lack of information, a lack of understanding, and say, oh, you have the right mindset. It is just, you need to look that way instead of looking the other way, and then you go, oh, okay, well, yeah, that makes sense now, so there's always help, and that's what I learned too. Enjoying the chamber, you realize there's help everywhere. At least for me, just with the strategic partners that we have in the chamber, with the workshops that we have, it's just like, there's assistance out there. And you hear the same thing often, like, come be a registered vendor on our website. We'll send you opportunities based on your NAICS code. This is what they told us, our strategic partners were telling us on Thursday, on Thursday and Wednesday, so when you hear the same thing, multiple times, and you haven't heard that before you join the chamber, then it's like, okay, well, I'm glad I joined the chamber to get this information to help me do better with this business idea that I have. So so yeah, that's a network is always a good good situation. So
because if you have a right group of people around you, the right community, you actually get to learn from other people. So I always like to help the people that are around me. I told my friend, I said, hey, if I can help you in the learning curve, if I can help shorten your learning curve with my experience, and then I want to do that. So I do that all the time for a lot of different people. So if I learn something and I'm like, wait, when I see somebody going down it's like seeing somebody get ready to hit that pothole.
You want to do that right quick.
I'm like, whoa. So is there a reason why you're doing it that way? Because I can see how you're getting ready to hit that big old, pothole. So do you really want to keep going that direction?
Yeah. Sometimes if you ask them that question and they be like,
but like, okay,
you gotta watch them go hit that pothole.
You gotta,
like, okay,
it's so crazy. You gotta lean back and be like, okay, and you just sit there and cringe and be like, okay, we're gonna hope for the best in this, and move forward.
But you always gotta learn from your, mistakes or whatnot. If you doing the same thing and getting the same results and it's not working, at some point you gotta say, I'm doing something wrong. So
definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Same thing happens. So
so that's what I like to do. So I'm glad that I chose to come here and make the decision to say I want to be part of that, because so one of the things was for the hub certification. So when I first did my certification, minority women, and and went through that process, and I was like, okay, cool. First of all, there's a couple other things that I'm learning about the certifications that I didn't understand or recognize before, right?
Yeah.
And so when I got the certification, I did it because I wanted to work with someone that you have to go through. I was trying to work with school districts, and the school districts, they have to go through the certification. You have to go through the
certification. Like a certain one, or just a?
There are a few of them.
Okay.
One of them was Houston ISD.
Okay.
So Houston ISD, one of the prerequisites for working with them was to become certified.
Okay.
So because it's a process that you have to go through.
So you can't just be a registered vendor with
no,
HR.
they actually send you to the city to get certified.
Okay.
So that's what I understood. So once that got taken care of, so I said, okay, so I became certified. So now I'm standing here not knowing what to do next. But there are other things that were supposed to happen inside that space. Coming to the chamber actually uncovered what I didn't know. So a lot of people, they don't understand or recognize why you need to be certified.
Yeah.
And so then I didn't know that. And so then I was like, okay, so I'm going to, so they said, oh, you can do hub. And I was like,
after you got one certification, they said
so I got
this
so
other one?
Well, actually, it's part of the whole entire thing. So you can do all three. Like when you go to city, you can do all three. But I only did the two because then I went to the other one. I was like, I just don't get it. I didn't understand what the benefit was. First of all, I didn't understand the benefit of the other certifications.
Yeah.
But then I didn't understand the benefit of the hub certification. Then I joined the chamber, and then I understood the benefit of all of them.
And you're like, oh, okay, I just got them. I can do some stuff with them now.
I was like, and then I was like, oh, it's for that, and then it became okay. So there is benefit in that because the certifications are set up. We recognize why they're set up, but what we don't realize is that so the one gentleman walked up to me. He was he did not look like me, but he was like, why did you decide to be certified? And I was like, I tried to do it the other way, which was just go out on my own, but it doesn't seem like it was working so well. So I decided to add another feather in the cap to try to get myself a better opportunity, right? And that's what it was about, because so everyone had me believing that I didn't need a certification because I didn't need to be identified as a minority or woman-owned business because they were going to put me in a box.
Yeah.
But
that's one reason why you want a certification.
That's what. But see,
like, nah, you come. this is what my business is, and this is who I am, and I've been excluded at times because of that, right?
Because of it.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
so if I can get included into the possibility or opportunity, the certification gave me that opportunity to do that. And if it wasn't for the chamber, I wouldn't have been able to understand exactly why it was so necessary for me to go and do that. And I think and I know that there's a lot of listeners, a lot of people, a lot of business owners who just don't understand that. And so that's why today is just one of those things where what are we doing to prepare? You know, building a community, building a network, and getting involved with groups that are here for you to be successful. And then so right now we're dealing with COVID and dealing with dealing with reopening, but a lot of businesses had to pivot and they had to make changes to their business model. And so now so when you did that pivot, are you going to keep the same steam and momentum that you have now as you're sheltering in place? Are you going to be able to, continue that as you're now starting to reopen and come out to scale? And then who are you putting in your camp that's going to help you progress?
I mean, it's always, as a business owner, you always got to think about those, those ideas, those things, because you want to stay successful, and then just the ramp up is going to be how fast or slow is it going to be? Is everybody going to be ready to ramp up? You might think you're ready, but are you actually going to be ready? I mean, just.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'll be I stay ready, so I ain't got to get ready. But,
okay, so tell me. So has there any business that you've done that you've so I know you have you're a serial entrepreneur. So
yeah, it is true. Yeah.
So inside one of your businesses, have you had to pivot during this time or make any changes?
Yeah, well, so I just recognized I need to fine tune my business plans. Probably about 3 of them, a good 2 to 3. Just just reevaluate them, make sure they're, kind of like with your app situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to make sure it's ready, for when I'm ready to move on it. I have all my ideas on paper. That's one thing I learned at the chamber, is you need to get your ideas on paper. You don't want to keep it in your head, because you're gonna be you'll forget, most of it. So I just reevaluated my business plans, and just thought about them a lot. Obviously, also with putting together a webinar, disaster loans, things of that nature. So yeah, I mean, it's.
What did you do differently? What are you doing in one of your businesses? Did you have to pivot and make a change for how you're gonna, what you're gonna do next? After what is it? Post COVID. Yeah, because the main business was going to Belize, but all that kind of stopped, right? So with travel and things of that nature. So I'm really going to focus on a nonprofit organization, especially with the schools being out for kids weren't going to school. They're
Things
definitely
of that nature.
out now.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be associated with education. So I need to put that plan together, and I keep hearing that nonprofit organizations, it's just a lot of work, paperwork associated with it. So that's why I'm.
You gotta stay in compliance.
Yeah,
I know a compliance officer.
Yeah. So I'm working on a plan to make sure I'm in compliance with also doing, looking to do international business as well. So that's a lot of thinking and planning. So yeah, I use a lot of time to make sure, get my ducks in a row, for that, to be prepared, right?
Right.
To be prepared for the ramp up.
So has this pandemic allowed you to see anything in your business that you can probably launch now because of COVID earlier than what you would have done before?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to launch just because most of my businesses are going to be involved with people being around other people, right?
Really?
Like so, retail. I do the T-shirts and things of that nature.
Oh, okay,
Pop shops and stuff. I'm not sure how soon they're going to be coming back into play.
No.
But so yeah, I wouldn't launch for my business situation. I wouldn't launch, just ASAP. But that's my business. Doesn't.
Your t-shirt, your apparel business, your t-shirt business. Look, we talked about this like earlier this week. We talked about this, I think, Wednesday, right?
We did talk about
Tuesday or Wednesday. We talked about this.
I got them. I scooped them up yesterday, actually. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So you know what we can do with this shirt thing? I mean, you don't need to have like a multiple people showing up for your to purchase that. You know what I mean, to do that? You go just put that out there. And by the way, I would just like to say these are very nice.
Yeah. Shout out to Print Box. I had to go get them yesterday real quick, and I shot the email to them Tuesday.
It could be definitely designed. Like I could figure out what type of design. I actually like this. I think I'm gonna have to do something about that. But yeah. So I'm thinking you wouldn't have to put a bunch of people together to sell your apparel.
Well, it could be, sold online and things of that nature. So yeah, I need to do better with marketing and advertising.
Okay, so you are one of those ones who are sitting there saying, "Well, I'll just wait till everybody shows back up." But you got to figure out a different way how to ramp up that business that you have still right now. If you have a t-shirt business, people are constantly looking for. I mean, you know how many strange TikTok videos. I asked my daughter. I was like, "Hey, this is TikTok." She said, "You don't need TikTok, whatever." And, but TikTok, Instagram, all these videos that are showing up, people can rock your shirts or the designs and stuff.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, that's we can do that. But
we need to talk more.
I was working on the nonprofit because I can see the benefit of that. First, as soon as fall comes, we got some stuff for the children, for the kids, to get their self-esteem back up. And I was thinking about this. So I graduated high school in 2000.
Okay.
So back in, that was a Y2K bug. I've been talking about it with my friends, and I was 18 years old. I'm like, so I'm not gonna graduate, and come December 31st, the world.
Prince talked about it. Party like it's 1999.
99. So so then I'm thinking about the kids now. They no graduation. They postponing prom and stuff like that. You always want to see your friends at school. So. I mean, and you got the parents is at home with them now, so it's, a lot of people.
You could definitely be working on that for sure.
Yeah, I stay working. Yeah, it's always some idea. A couple people tell me, I know you got some ideas back in the back of your head, so
Yeah, we gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, so during this COVID thing, there was another module that I was not. Was on the roadmap, but I was not going to do anything with it until COVID happened.
Oh, so you got a new business idea?
So it actually started. So it was already there, and it was already part of what we were creating, already part of it, everything, and I actually started submitting the proposals for it because of COVID. So something good came out of, something additional. Came out of this COVID situation because I was able to figure out that expedite my module being released. So at this point, it'll probably get released pretty soon here now. But before, it wasn't on the horizon for another year. And so because of it, it just moved up the timeline because it's needed in 5 years. But no, it will absolutely 100% be a problem to be solved in 5 years. However, if I get it started now,
already set up.
It will be set up, and then what happened to us now will not happen again with the numbers of people we have on this planet today. So for that reason, there was something that actually part of the pivot for me was just saying it's time to roll this second one out. So now I'll be doing two things at one time.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes timing is everything, and you always gotta look at the bright side of things too.
It's the
right?
bright side.
There's always if something bad happens, there's always a positive that can come out of it. So yeah, that's good. You just stepped up the timeline from a year. So yeah, that's always a good situation.
Yeah, because so that's why I said that there's a lot of business owners that are probably out there saying, okay, I thought about it. I met a few of them. Inside, they were like, okay, we just here, you're sheltering in place. And so by doing that, they were like, okay, well, what's my passion? What do I want to do? How do I find it? And kind of rolling out because 50 million people are unemployed. The number I heard was 50 million people are now unemployed, right? And so in small businesses, especially a lot of the ones that are going out of business, they employed a lot of the Americans, right?
Well, so, small business is the backbone of America. The more you go to the webinars and these workshops and stuff, you start hearing that, and you're like, okay, and it's I'm a business owner too, so I'm a part of that. So
Yeah, so that's why it was really important. So for those people who I like the different ways that people have chosen to do it. So for clothing lines, people who are they don't have their brick and mortar anymore, or they don't have access to people. What the ladies I noticed were doing was they were modeling their clothing.
Yeah.
And they were still drumming up sales. That's a different way to do business.
Oh yeah.
They were actually reaching out to find out how they can collaborate with other people that would be able to do that. And then there's those challenges out there right now.
Oh yeah, it's always an internet challenge somewhere. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see yours. No.
I ain't created one yet. Yeah.
You didn't create your.
I probably need to create one. Yeah. See if it can go viral. What the viral? That's what everybody wants now. Go viral.
I know. So, not too sure about this viral thing, but. Yeah, so there's a lot of different things that people have chosen to do that's different inside of here because of this. So I would encourage people to kind of look at what is it that you can add value. How can you add value to someone else in a situation like this? Because me personally, I won't be just because the city reopens doesn't mean that
I ain't about to be
Tabitha's reopening.
Yeah,
no, not reopening. I'll still be sheltering in place.
Yeah.
Only because I have other issues that I need to make sure that I don't contract whatever the heck they claim is non-existent out there. So, but I do feel like people should kind of look inside and just kind of take a look at really and truly what is it that you can do that's going to be different and kind of pivot, and then make sure that you pull in certain resources or build your community now so for your success. Because, like we said at the beginning, the May 4th, it was strange because when the date came out, May 4th,
for the radio show,
Let's
Talk Business radio
I was like,
show.
May 4th, I'm okay either way, but when it came up May 4th, I was like, okay,
Probably
and we're
some
good.
timing though, 'cause some
But
people.
you hear what you said? Probably good timing? No, it wasn't probably good timing. It was excellent timing.
Yeah.
But Miss Leandria figured out the date that she wanted to start this, and said, and then she came on the show and she said, we didn't know, and she said May 4th, and I was like, okay.
Oh, that's sooner than I wanted.
It was like, wow, that's still a way to go. That's still a wild ways to go, right?
It popped up on you now.
And it popped up real quick.
Yeah,
but then look at what's happening, right? So she has been preparing for this whole entire time, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's pitching in and doing their thing, and in that preparation, so she was able to draw from her resources and draw from the chamber, and she was able to put community around it. And now we're getting ready to launch the radio on Monday, May 4th, right? Yeah. And then she said, okay, not only that, I'm going to help support businesses, large and small, non-profit and for-profit, and we're going to give you an introductory rate of advertisement on their radio show for an hour, inside that hour, right? So a person who does not prepare is not able to pull and draw these things together in order to produce something that is going to be beneficial and impactful to all those people that are listening around.
Yeah, and then she told us about on the comptroller's website the schedule of events.
Yes.
And what's on there that she
I
showed
know,
us?
right? Because when I seen it, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So we got.
I was like, okay, be prepared.
Oh my gosh, I know, because the podcast is on there and the radio show is now showing up on there.
Yeah.
So
as long as it gets up there, it can be on there.
Yes.
Yeah. So
isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's like, man, the chamber has a lot of resources. I mean, there's more resources, and there's probably more than I even know about.
You went through it in 4 months, but I mean, but for me, I'm like still making my way through it. But every time I meet somebody new, or every time I talk to somebody new, it's I learned something different and new, and something that I didn't think about. Yeah.
But you also hear something else that somebody else said too. That's like, I'm glad I heard that again, because I probably need to hear it that many times for me to be like, okay, that's something that I need to also work on or add to my my value to my business. So yeah, there's a bunch of resources at the chamber. That's why we're here today. On this podcast, got our shirts on.
Opportunity to do the radio show.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have my commercials on there, with my businesses and stuff. So I can do that today. I said that earlier.
Yeah, keep saying that. So then after the end, I'm like, okay, you need to be on the radio. That's what we're gonna say.
We're gonna go in depth on the radio show with our businesses for our members. If you want to be on the show, what is it, 10-minute segment, right?
So the business showcase is 10 minutes.
Yes.
So it's the last 10 minutes of the show.
Okay.
So you can go and sign up for that.
Okay.
And it's a good opportunity to let all of the people know who you are, what you do, what you're looking for, and how you can service the community, right? And then we also have those slots for those 30 to 45 second, I think it's 30-second commercials. And that again gives people where you're located, what you offer, and then because radio is not dying, period. Okay, it was able to pivot as well, right? So before radio was just radio stations and things like
TV,
right?
That was a source of
everybody got around the radio.
It was like 50 years ago.
Okay, that's clearly not my side. Got around the radio, but now you have internet radio, you have podcasts and things like that, and people are really listening to those things now. So to put your ad out there for people to hear, and it be and imagine putting your ad on the radio, and someone needing to hear that at that moment, and then you get the phone call, and that's the difference between whether or not your business, soars or just kind of stay still.
Yeah, and then it's also beneficial for our members to, do business with each other, right?
Right.
If I can listen to the podcast, Let's Talk Business radio show, and hear about, a product or service, from somebody within the chamber, that's part of the network,
right.
The business network that you need to be successful. So, we've been talking about how the chamber's been beneficial to us. So, hopefully with this advertising, things of that nature, people tune in and it's like, oh, okay, they're a member of the chamber too, and maybe I need to go to this networking event and meet them and give them my capability statement one day. I don't know, who knows, but as long as you stay tuned in, you get the information you need.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that it's very, very important. Very important. I think even GMT Radio. I'm telling you what, I really like him.
Oh yeah.
And I'm telling you, I really like him because no matter, even through all of this, he's been extremely helpful to all of us, and he's lent his, he's put himself out there a little bit, but he's made it possible for us to continue to show up and to continue to provide value to those who want to listen, and at the same time we're supporting his business as as he stays still and as he has to, just like everybody else, shelter in place. So gmtradio.com if you want to come and do a podcast or radio or TV. What?
Video. I mean, it's a nice setup too. I mean, got the TV behind us and everything.
We your logo can be right here.
Yeah.
So just for that. So yeah, I think that they've been really good. And he changed some of the things that he was doing too. And so that's why I'm saying that inside this, even though over stress and anxiety that existed, it's still saying that when, there are these moments, these small moments maybe, of clarity where you can say, I would love to write a book. I would love to share my experience. Those are the times in which you just take that moment and write it down, write it out, and so you can see whether or not you're going to be able to, if it can come to fruition based on what you're asking, what you want to do. Because everybody's passion is different, and what is laying on one person's heart may not be laying on another person.
Different skill sets. You got to use your skill set to your advantage.
Right?
Put it in your capability statement.
Okay, wait a second. Skill set. So let's talk about the skill set just for a little bit, just for a minute. So you and I had a conversation. We figured out that we were both engineers, and I was like, "What?" You didn't know that I was. You didn't realize it, but I didn't realize you were. But I'm still in the technology side of things. But you have chosen to kind of go in a different direction. So education and skill set, they are not the same, but they can be used for the same purpose.
Absolutely. So they should be, used for the same purpose.
But here's the thing: what I was trying to get at. So you're an engineer by education, but you have chosen to go a different way. So you pivoted at some point in your life, and so you found it more passion. You found more passion in what you were doing today than what you were doing before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, and we didn't finish that conversation.
I know, right? We gotta finish the conversation.
But yeah, when I was in school, if I don't like this engineering stuff, I already know what I'm gonna do. So that's all I'm doing.
So you already knew.
Yeah, I'm gonna not do it anymore. I'm gonna do something completely different. So yeah, and it has to do with just education, and it kind of turned into business. You know, that was always, and so now I'm gonna just try to combine all three of them.
Kind of put that thin string, but bring all of them.
Yeah, and then that's the characteristics, personality, education, just tie it all together and see how it works. So
awesome. I think it's good. You're a very good example for those people who may be listening that says, "Hey, I'm doing this, but I can actually go around and do something else."
I can do something else too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you doing the same thing. Right?
I know. I'm working it out. Look, I gotta work it out. Gotta keep on moving. Gotta get that. Catch my stride.
yeah. Especially now, you know, with the bouncing back from the COVID situation. So preparation is key right now.
Cool. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me today.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. It was a good time again.
This is always so much fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And that's another thing, for members, because we're trying to, help our members out, get more exposure. We're on the podcast, on the radio show. There is a sense of nervousness, the first time, but after you get on here, it's kind of like
it's not so bad.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. You do have the opportunity to get on here. We probably have some protocols for it, to make sure we got it set up properly. But yeah, don't be shy. To come on here.
Don't be shy.
Say what's up.
Look, I don't bite.
I
don't bite.
Yeah, and she makes it easy too. I told her that I'm following your lead today because.
It's tough.
So yeah, but no, it's good.
Yeah. So okay, so I thank you for being here. I'm gonna go ahead and thank our sponsors, and we're gonna go ahead and sign off. So we want to thank Southwest Airlines as a proud air travel sponsor of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, and also Premicore Business Solutions. So just remember, when the right connections matter, connect to the right network. Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. So for anyone listening and watching, go to tcbcc.org and take a look at their website and possibly look to join. Everybody have a great day.
Boom.